We're gonna follow up on the legality argument that Greg was making about Clavicular running over that guy with his Cybertruck. We're gonna look at Solomon Nelson.
And X.
I didn't actually watch this. I don't know why it was 3 minutes in. A legal breakdown of Clavicular's Cybertruck crash. Okay, blurred, good. TOS friendly, hopefully.
Braden Peters, better known as Clavicular, is a live streamer who's known for looks maxing, which is the pursuit of maximizing your physical attractiveness through methods ranging from grooming
I'm
and
guessing it's
fitness
public info.
to cosmetic surgery. While that is a fascinating topic for another day, Clavicular is currently making headlines for a much darker reason. Recently, he appears to have run someone over in his Cybertruck. In Chapter 2 of this video, I'll go over the facts, such as they are. Chapter 3 will then discuss potential charges Clavicular could face, ranging from aggravated battery to...
Is this guy British? I know he's obviously got an accent. It might actually be an Australian accent. I'm really bad at distinguishing. Don't know if he's British or not.
Premeditated murder. Chapter 4 will contemplate whether his claims of self-defense hold any water.
I mean,
Chapter
obviously,
5
you know,
concludes.
the accent, but he could be an immigrant.
First, a necessary disclaimer. The facts surrounding this incident are still developing. We can't rule out, for instance, the possibility that this was a staged stunt. However, the footage currently appears to be real. As such...
There was a police encounter. I don't know if that's realistically something that would happen if it was staged.
I'll proceed with my description of events, assuming that they occurred as depicted. On the 24th of December 2025, the now viral broadcast surfaced. It shows an individual who goes by Recan X lying on the bonnet of Clavicular's Cybertruck, ostensibly acting as a nuisance. A person off camera is heard telling Clavicular to start driving, after which the Cybertruck appears to move forward.
Start driving with this man. Drive.
Recan X slides off the vehicle and appears to be run over. Immediately following the impact,
You can't really
Clavicular
see.
is heard saying, "Is he dead?" Hopefully.
Is he dead? Hopefully.
Completely
Further clips
based,
from
by the
same
way.
live stream show Clavicular speaking to an individual wearing a reflective safety jacket. During the exchange, he claims he acted out of fear and self-defense.
To my knowledge, these security guards sided with him too. These security guards witnessed the whole thing, and okay, I didn't pull those. They witnessed the not only the car altercation, but the altercation leading up to it. Because there was more that people didn't actually see that wasn't in this clip. Where I believe he was trying to follow them into the truck.
Fence.
No, you don't know. There's armed people surrounding my car. Yeah, and they're armed. They all have pistols. Yeah, exactly. I can't see shit. Well, that's why. Well, when you're afraid, I don't know what's going on.
However, Clavicular's actions before and after the incident may tell a different story. Prior to the incident, Clavicular had a heated exchange with Recan X and some others, after which he was recorded stating,
Was this the one where he
"I want to kill each and every one of these guys."
he threw a okay no.
Calling black people is bad. How you feel about that?
I want to kill each and every one of these guys.
Following the incident, Clavicular posted an AI illustration of himself running over Recan X with the caption, "Play stupid games, win
He was the I didn't know that. I thought some fan made that. I didn't know that was him. Yeah, he didn't really have the best you know, legally safe follow-up to this.
stupid prizes." Of note is that Recan X appears to have been stalking and harassing Clavicular for some time. In one encounter, Recan X threw some kind of liquid at Clavicular. As of now, no further official details have been released regarding the condition of Recan X.
Yeah, I saw the liquid thing.
Because the incident took place in Miami, Florida, I'll ground my analysis in Florida law. Since we still don't know if Recan X is dead, I'll split my analysis into two distinct sections. The first assumes that Recan X succumbed to his injuries, and the second assumes that he survived.
Pretty sure he survived. At least for the
If
time being.
Recan X, the person on the bonnet, succumbed to his injuries, then Clavicular faces an escalating ladder of homicide charges. The most immediate charge would be vehicular homicide under Florida Statute Section 782.071. To secure a conviction, the prosecution must prove that Clavicular operated the vehicle in a reckless manner likely to cause the death of or great bodily harm to another. Under Florida Statute Section 316.192, subsection 1a, reckless driving means driving with a willful or wanton disregard for safety. Driving forward with a human lying on your bonnet could
there'd
certainly
be
be
multiple
argued to meet
charges.
this standard. However, the prosecution might argue for a more severe charge, second-degree murder under Florida Statute
I doubt they
Section
would go for this.
782.04, subsection 2. This charge applies when a killing is committed with a depraved mind regardless of human life. The Florida Standard Jury Instruction defines a depraved mind as acting with ill will, hatred, spite, or an evil intent. Clavicular's posting an illustration of the incident with the caption, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes,"
Yeah,
supports the feeling
could have
that the
implications.
impact wasn't accidental.
Yeah,
The post suggests that he believed that the
but
victim
doesn't
deserved to be
wouldn't
hit.
the actual killing need to be on purpose? Theoretically, let's say he dies and he succumbs. Wouldn't the killing itself need to be like intentional, not like he just intended to hurt him?
Combined with his comment, "Is he dead?" Hopefully.
Is he dead?
Well, there you go. There you go. That's right. How could I forget? Yeah. Well, there. Absolute fucking disaster.
Hopefully.
The evidence seems to suggest malice and ill will, fitting the textbook definition of a depraved mind. The investigation could also escalate to first-degree murder, which under Florida law requires...
No, there's no way. The unlawful killing of a human being, when perpetrated from a premeditated design, doesn't look like it's this one.
It's a premeditated design
This-
to affect the death of the person
he's reading
killed.
it.
Clavicular's statement prior to the crash, "I want to kill each and every one of these guys,"
I want to kill
I still don't even know that.
each and every one of these guys.
sounds fairly damning.
Not a lawyer though.
Premeditation doesn't require days of planning. According to Florida's jury
Is
instructions,
that right?
the law doesn't fix the exact period of time that has to pass between the
But I
formation
imagine
of the
It's harder for like a prosecution to say if it's like within 20 minutes, right? Within like a 20-minute window, that's realistically going to be harder for a prosecutor to get them on premeditation. I would imagine. Again, not a lawyer.
premeditated intent to kill and the killing. Instead, the requirement is simply that the decision must be present in the mind at the time of the
Sure.
killing, and that the time was long enough to allow reflection by the defendant. Stating
Which
a specific
obviously,
desire to kill the group
Open to
and
interpretation.
then using a deadly weapon to run over a member of that group would seem to provide evidence of this killing after consciously deciding to do.
But the thing with that is, obviously that was a different group, right? He wasn't referring to this guy. And I don't know how that would work. Those were just people
So.
harassing him for
However,
another
there
reason
is a major
entirely.
flaw in the first
I think it was
degree
over
murder
him
theory.
saying, a
Recan
certain
X came
slur.
to Clavicular. It's not as if Clavicular hunted Recan X down. The man jumped on his hood. The defense will argue that this proves that there wasn't any kind of plan as such. They'll claim that his "I want to kill them" comment was just
exactly.
frustration, and the actual crash was a split-second reaction to a sudden threat, not a premeditated execution.
Realistically, yeah. If he survived, I don't think they're going
If
for anything.
Recan X survived, then the baseline charge would be aggravated battery with a deadly weapon under Florida Statute Section 784.045. In Florida, an automobile is legally considered a deadly weapon if used in a manner likely to produce death or great bodily harm.
Sure.
Intent is also a requirement for battery. Given the video evidence, as well as the subsequent social media post, intent to strike can easily be inferred. Alternatively, based on
Yeah, he
I
shouldn't
want
have
to kill
posted
statement,
that picture.
the state could charge
I don't know why he
attempted
posted that.
first-degree
It
murder.
just seems silly.
The prosecution would argue that Clavicular took a substantial step toward committing murder by driving over Recan X, driven by his previously voiced intent to kill.
I don't even think it's like. I've watched the video a couple times. From what you can see in the video, it doesn't even. It looks like he could have just easily slid off the hood. And to my knowledge, he's alive, and I don't think he was in. I think he was in the hospital. I don't know what kind of condition.
However, even if a jury isn't convinced that Clavicular planned the attack, they could still convict him of attempted second-degree murder. This applies if they believe he didn't necessarily plan the attack beforehand, but
Sure.
acted with a depraved mind in the moment, which might be evidenced by his comment immediately after the impact, "Is he dead?" Hopefully. Clavicular's
Probably.
legal team would
To my
likely
knowledge,
rely
this
on
guy.
self-defense.
To my knowledge, this guy has brandished firearms on his socials, and I believe at least one time he confronted Clavicular. He had a firearm that he brandished, although I'm not sure on that second one. Maybe I just remembered.
Florida's Stand Your Ground law, under Florida Statute Section 776.012, allows deadly force if a person reasonably believes it's necessary to prevent imminent harm or great bodily harm. Further, Florida Statute Section 776.013 subsection 2a provides a presumption of fear if someone is forcefully and unlawfully entering an occupied vehicle. Regarding
I don't know if
vehicle
that would
presumption, the footage shows Recan X lying
jumping
on
on
the
the
bonnet,
hood would
not
count.
forcefully entering the cabin. Being a nuisance on a bonnet is legally distinct from carjacking. Since Recan
Right,
X
okay.
wasn't breaking the glass or
Legally
trying to
distinct,
open the
okay, yeah.
door, the automatic presumption of fear likely doesn't apply. This leaves Clavicular with the burden of proving that his fear was objectively reasonable under the general Stand Your Ground law. Despite Clavicular's recounting of events, the video shows no visible firearms and nobody surrounding his car. A jury looking strictly at the footage might conclude that running over a pedestrian was a disproportionate response to a non-lethal, albeit very annoying obstruction.
Could, but these are Florida people we're talking about. They might be even more or less sympathetic towards this kind of person than Texas people, I would argue.
Was a disproportionate response to a non-lethal, albeit very annoying obstruction. Critically, a reasonable person in Clavicular's position would seem to have had safer alternatives. If he truly felt threatened, then he could have locked the doors and called 911. Even if he felt the need to move, he could have inched the vehicle forward slowly to displace the person on the hood.
Yeah,
Instead, the video appears
he
to
could.
show
Yeah,
rapid acceleration.
he could have just done a couple
The
miles
jury
an hour.
might view this escalation, choosing to run someone over rather than call for help or drive cautiously, as disproportionate and unnecessary, which would be fatal to a self-defense claim. The defense might attempt to use the alleged stalking history to justify Clavicular's fear, arguing that Recan X was a persistent threat. However, even if Recan X had harassed Clavicular for months, his prior conduct was seemingly limited to nuisance acts, and never escalated to lethal violence or any threats thereof. Further, the video doesn't show a man cornering his target. A jury is unlikely to accept that a history of petty harassment justifies the sudden escalation to deadly vehicular force. The prosecution may also A jury is unlikely to accept that a history of petty harassment justifies the sudden escalation to deadly vehicular force. The prosecution may also flip any history of stalking to argue motive. The prosecution will claim that Clavicular wasn't afraid of the stalker, but tired of, with his statement, "I want to kill each and every one of these guys," corroborating this.
Sure.
The defense would undoubtedly call this statement mere hyperbole, but it's difficult to argue that a threat was empty when the threat maker immediately proceeds to fulfill it. The prosecution will
Fair
argue
enough.
that Clavicular didn't drive forward to escape a threat, but rather to end a feud. The stupid prizes post would seem to reinforce this view. It suggests that the running over was a
Stupid.
punishment for the stalking.
Yeah, that's
not a
really
desperate
gonna screw him in
survival
court, I
tactic.
think.
Regardless of any potential stalking history,
See,
the hope-
I didn't know that was him. I didn't know he was the one that like posted. That seems so stupid.
fully comment remains the defense's biggest hurdle.
Is he dead? Hopefully.
Self-defense is legally predicated on the necessity of survival, not the desire to harm. A prosecutor will argue that even if you're being stalked, you're not allowed to kill your stalker and then joke about it. If Recan X succumbed to his wounds, then Clavicular faces charges ranging from vehicular homicide to first-degree murder. If Recan X survives, then Clavicular faces aggravated battery or attempted murder. While Clavicular will argue self-defense based on a history of stalking and the claim of being surrounded by armed individuals, his own words and actions are his worst enemy. His pre-incident threat, his mid-incident malice, and his post-incident mockery paint a picture not of a terrified victim acting purely for survival, but of someone acting with punitive intent. Unless police find firearms on Recan X to corroborate Clavicular's story, Clavicular appears to have documented his own road to
Is he taking into account the because Recan X has firearms. I'm pretty sure. Who's the... Okay. Who did Clavicular run over? Okay, we'll do this. Did the guy Clavicular... Okay, it's like the first thing you type did the C and it's did the guy Clavicular hit die. He did not die. Seriously injured. They didn't even charge him. I know they didn't charge him at the time.